You're listening to the Bon Secour Show on ITV.ie and Irish News Radio. Today is Thursday, so we're going to have just a quick look at what's happening. And tomorrow or on Saturday, we're going to try and catch up with the wonderful Eileen. It's really scary, like all around, Ireland is changing so rapidly. Like this really push for a cashless society so they can keep control of what you're doing. You can really see it in banks. They really don't want to give out cash. There's less and less they're taking away, on days where there's only counters on a certain amount of times, and there is cashless banks. And the reason being is obvious: when they have complete control of where and how you're spending your money, as in using a card, you've no control. They know exactly how much and where you are at any particular time. They've complete and utter control. When cash goes, freedom goes, because it's the only way that you can control them not looking at you, so that they don't know how much you're spending on drink. They don't know how much money you're getting paid. They don't know anything. But when they have the cards, they can control everything. They know exactly how much is coming in, coming out, and banks and governments working together. It is really, really scary. And then if they decide to put a stop on your cash flow or on your bank, they can do that. So you wouldn't be able to eat, you wouldn't be able to heat your house, you wouldn't be able to do anything. It leaves the government and the banks in total control of you. It's really, really scary, and the date will come up fairly soon. You can see more of a push for a cashless society, so they can completely control you. If you break the law, if you do anything, they can just literally put a hold on your account. So that week, that day or whatever they decide, you don't eat that day. You can't eat, your card doesn't work. There's no cash. You can't heat your house or your family. This is quite scary. Once cash goes, you lose control of freedom. And you can see there's a real push for that. Now, I've been talking to a few friends of mine. I'm saying that we need to start looking at setting up a bank for people, because there's huge queues and everyone complaining, everybody miserable. We need to find out, people to organise a bank that still uses cash, that you can still get cash out, or some way. We need to start looking at it now, because this is going to happen fairly soon. All this bullshit about bank links being robbed, such a load of rubbish. Like, guards can stop you miles away and know whether you have tax on your car, or you've paid whether your car is insured, or whether it's got NCT on it. You're telling me that a bulldozers can go through towns and rob, without anybody seeing it, a bank link? Seriously, people, that is complete bullshit. There is no way that's happening. They're going to stop cash, and it looks like they're doing test runs around the country on how. And as soon as that happens, they have complete control over whether you eat that day, whether you don't, whether you can heat your house. And it'll also be in such a way that companies may not even take cash. So even if you want to pay your heating with cash, they won't accept it. Even if you want to pay for food through cash, they won't accept it. So we all need to start waking up and thinking of alternative ways, either to try and take dollars or something like that. It's really, really scary. Really scary. Start growing your own vegetables. It is really, really scary. Once the banks have complete control over every part of your life and where you are. And this is where we're heading. This is why this bullshit cash machines are being robbed. Such a ridiculous story. Come on, a bulldozer, they're not that bloody hard to spot. As long as if they fly around the streets 90 miles an hour, they can barely drive. And do you not think anybody would notice that it was a big cash machine sticking out the top of it driving through the town? What a load of bullshit. Not just one in the similar area, but two. Come on. Seriously. There is no way that happened without the whole government and the police and everything making sure that nobody saw that. They're heading for a cashless society and it's coming up really, really short. Things are getting really, really scary. I keep saying this, but it is scary. It will. I actually see within the end of the year, maybe before, they will announce that there is no more cash. And that means they have complete control over you. Start growing your own foods. Start bartering. Start finding another way to feed yourself, because, as I said, if the government decides or the banks decide you're not going to eat, they can just take money out of your account. They take whatever taxes they want from you, and then we'll decide how much to take from you. And if cash becomes worthless, which this is what they want, because they want to eliminate it, and that's why the bullshit stories of the cash machines disappearing, such a load of crap. Once they get control of your money, and they're keeping you busy with elections and all these sort of things. And if you notice, the election campaign is ridiculous. The Fine Gael is like a rainbow coloured. It's like, yeah, the gay party. We're the unicorn gay party. And then there's a load of Muslims slipped into different areas. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael both have Muslim candidates on it. Bloody scary, scary times. Really, really scary. It gets worse. They not just want to change the face of Ireland, they want to wipe it out. They want to wipe the Irish out. And it becomes more obvious every day. They want us out. They want us replaced. And cash is the best way to control us, because they can decide there is no more money. I do think people were coming to an end. I don't know where, but you all should start looking for a home. But somewhere that still has cash, because then you still have freedom. It is scary. We need to start growing your food and bartering. The load of the candidates coming up, and they're going to keep you busy with these bullshit stuff. The North will be forced into making abortion legal. There will be 10,000 babies aborted. New studies have revealed, that have come out from the Mater Hospital. So 10,000 Irish babies. So far from rare. And most of it is for convenience. All of it, I'd say 99.9% of the abortions are for convenience, no other reason. And because the government have made them free and easy, it's easier than taking birth control at this stage, and cheaper, because it's completely free. So stupid people who will take risks now and say, oh, instead of going down and getting a condom or whatever, here, sure, the abortion is free. If we get caught, we can just kill it. Well, they don't even think of it, because they're so lacking in knowledge of what they're doing. They don't actually even realise that it is killing. And then, oh, I don't feel like doing it this week, I'll go down next week. And, week on, week, not even realising that the later they leave it, A, the more dangerous it is for the woman. B is the more the baby is developing. It's horrific. And so abortions, late-term abortions, are disgusting. And they're not even given burials or pain relief. And there's 10,000 of them each year. 10,000 people who should be in Ireland, who should be born in Ireland, won't. And unfortunately, majority of them are Irish, Indigenous Irish. They're killing us off through cash, through abortions. So Northern Ireland will definitely be forced by the end of the year to make abortions legal because the numbers are so bloody high. They will continue on this. It's awful. Leo finally gives a sympathy towards Sri Lanka, and not a very good one. He basically goes on, and says about Easter worshippers, not Easter. He didn't say Easter worshippers. He said on the Easter Sunday killing. He didn't call them Christians, though. He went on to say that everybody has a right to practice whatever religion, instead of saying and mentioning that it was Muslims that were killed. Far cry from what he said when there was only 58. This is like over 6 times the amount. And a far less cry from what he said. Majority of them were Christian and Catholics. And a whole load of them were children born or put back into their communion outfits. It's an outrage. He's a disgusting character. You can almost read it through grit teeth. He absolutely hates Irish, and he hates Christians as well. That note, it was just so far from what he said about New Zealand, and that was 6 times less. This he barely acknowledges, and way late, only today. Like, the attacks happened on Easter Sunday. It's taken him this long, which I would say has been social media pressure to make him say something, which was half-arsed. It certainly wasn't good enough what he said, considering this country is supposed to be 90% Catholic. There should have been a complete sympathy and from the people of Ireland. He didn't represent us. He didn't give a full feeling of how the Irish feel about that. He was just like, oh, on Easter, on Easter Sunday, the attacks, and everybody has a right to, and we have to stand up for religious intolerance sort of bullshit, as if all religions are attacking each other. No, it's not. It was Muslims who were attacking Christians. No other religion is going around attacking others. It was Muslims who attacked. And he didn't even identify that. He didn't, word it in any way that was sympathetic towards the Christians who were killed. It was a horrible half-arsed. He didn't even want to say the word Christian. In no part of his bullshit thing had he even mentioned that they were Christians. Heartbreaking, horrible. He turns my stomach. He's so evil. It's disgusting. Facebook looks like it will be closing down people's pages for anybody for so-called what they call now is fake news. Now, basically, what they call fake news is for anything that they don't like, whether it's against the EU, the UN, migrants, Islam, anything they deem as fake news. It will be taken down and your groups will be closed. We are living in fascism, and it is very scary. And mostly the money going is the first stage, the last nail in our coffin of freedom. When your money goes, they will decide whether you eat that day, or whether you live or die, whether you receive medicine or you don't. And they will know everywhere you are and what you're doing. It is really scary times, people. It's a sad day. Ireland is completely gone. The nail is just gone in, and the last bit of light into the Ireland's coffin is going. We all need to work out, and I've been saying it for a year, 2 years, need to work out where you're going to go. But we all need to get out. I don't know where, The EU, anywhere in the EU is dangerous. Maybe Eastern European countries, people who didn't take on the UN Pact, maybe have a look at those countries. But it's scary, people. Very, very scary. Thank you for listening on the Bon Show on ITV.ie and Irish News Radio. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good evening. It's 8 in the evening.
You are listening to Irish News Radio at irishnews.net. Email news@irishnews.net.